Howdy doody. Slightly better quality, which means you can see more of the man breastage, and you can see even more of this
wonderfully ugly face.
But yes, I didn't think to hold off recording German Beer Week.
Still nowhere to display it.
I didn't actually think of holding off starting recording German Beer Week until I had a new phone. So the quality has already changed, and hopefully for the better. Yeah, I can't actually remember what day we're up to because I am a
true professional.
But today we're going back to the old school and going to probably one of my favourite traditional breweries in Germany. And as you saw by the wonderful neckerchief that I picked up in Manchester, of all places, we're going back to Bavaria. And yeah, we're going to Munich. And as I'm recording this, obviously I've got to make myself look like even more of a twat, which is doesn't take much, let's be honest. Yeah, I forgot my complete train of thought. So today we're going back over to Munich, and as I'm recording this, the Oktoberfest is in full swing. Now, I've never been to Oktoberfest. Never really wanted to when I was living in Germany because of how crowded it is, how full of tourists it is, and how expensive it is. But it is one of those things that I'd like to experience at least once. And to be honest, when you do spend a good amount of time in Germany, chances are the small town, village or city that you may be visiting will probably have some sort of fest going on. Like a Volksfest or a Frühlingsfest, that sort of thing, which is essentially like a carnival. You've got all the stalls, you've got the food stands, you've got the little beer tents and beer halls. But yeah, I'd love to at least experience the Oktoberfest once, and didn't spend too much time in Munich when I was in Germany. What I did experience, a beautiful city, although tiny bit questionable near the train station, but you tell me any train station that's not quite suspicious. I reflect on my time in Germany and I realise I didn't really see too much outside of Regensburg. But fear not, I'm sure that will be rectified over the coming years. And why do I keep doing this with my hands? Who the hell am I? I know I clearly don't, but I look like I'm jacked right now. Look at those guns. Don't do that, Peter, because that's proper cringe. Anyway, even saying proper cringe is cringy as fuck. This is a beer that I've already reviewed. I reviewed it last year. Last year's that way. When I was doing my Oktoberfest, or week of Oktoberfest beers. And this was one of my favourites from that year. And it's one of the ones that I drank on a regular basis when it was released. Even though I don't think this is the actual version that they drink at the Oktoberfest, or they might do, but you will probably drink more of the Weissen, which I don't think they really release domestically too much. I think that's more, although a beer that they have at the festival. I could be completely wrong, by the way. I probably am. But you find that being like exported to like the place like America more than anything else. And Oktoberfest has a big presence in America. In fact, you'll get a lot of places in some parts of America that have a very big German tradition. German heritage is what I was trying to say. And I think that's fantastic because I love German culture. I love German art, film, music. I love the food, as you can clearly see as my breasts wobble. And I also friggin' adore the beer. And this is one of those ones. And I know some people might say the Oktoberfest style's a little bit boring. Oh, what's the difference between that and the regular helles and regular beers? If you actually look for it, you can find a lot of noticeable differences. So today, I'm going to be having a look at the 2018 version of the Paulaner Oktoberfest beer in a 500ml bottle. Pick this up from beersofeurope.co.uk, This is one of those Oktoberfest beers that always seems to make its way to the UK, along with the likes of Hacker-Shaw, Spartan. What else we got? The Erdinger, which is the Wheat Beer Fest, which is the Wheat Beer Oktoberfest beer. I think it's still a wheat beer. Can't remember. I do have a bottle in my little drinks cabinet down there. What else? What else do you see a lot of? You hardly see any Augustina, which is a real shame because that is a really, really special Oktoberfest beer. But yeah, you see a lot, and you see a lot of the British breweries getting involved. You definitely see a lot of the American breweries doing their Oktoberfest beers and their Märzens and Fest beers and that sort of thing. And I actually really like those beers. Not only conceptually because they're perfect to have when you've got company or you want to, have a bit of a social. And go, what's a social life again? I've completely forgotten what that is. But yeah, get some food, good company, good atmosphere. Those beers work perfect with that. But I also think 9 times out of 10, they taste absolutely lovely. And these sorts of styles are the ones that I go to as often as I can. So it's really good to see countries outside of Germany, of course. Any country that's not Germany would be outside of Germany. But countries aside from Germany really taking the Oktoberfest and doing something interesting. And I actually need to see if I can pick up some UK brewed Oktoberfest beers. So yeah, look out for potentially some reviews on the channel. So yeah, the Paulaner Oktoberfest beer. And the 2018 bottle picked up from Beers of Europe. You can get, like most UK websites and bottle shops, they will do packs where you can get like a Stein and different beers. I think we usually get around 6 Oktoberfest beers, it seems. You get like a pack of 12 or 24 where you get, you know what I mean. But it seems to be the same ones that come in on a regular basis. But, it's like with every beer, there's so many breweries in Germany per fucking millimetre, per square millimetre, do you know what I mean? That you're going to have a lot of really interesting drinking experiences. Anyway, I've waffled on for way too long. But then again, that's why you do watch me. And I dropped some knowledge and some facts, as I usually do. So you're very much welcome. Anyway, let's get this beer opened and see what we get. Already had a bottle of this year, because I picked up a few Oktoberfest beers. We'll be reviewing a couple with some friends as well. I think by the time you see this, we might have already done some reviews. Using my beer moth glass, because I have very limited German glassware, and I don't really want to have to use my mugs for this, because they're a little bit unwieldy when you're doing beer reviews. But anyway, beer's pretty much fresh out the fridge. It's warmed up considerably since we started talking, of course. But yeah, anyway, so it's sort of like a Pilsnerish glass, I suppose, keeping in tradition. As I've said plenty of times, I need to get more German branded glassware. I have had loads over the years, but I've broken loads over the years, so it's just the way she go, I suppose. Anyway, let's see what we get when we pour this one. This glass is actually, it looks really small when I think about it. Anyway, so, beer in the glass then. And that is a lovely deep golden colour. It's showcased really nicely on camera. Crystal clear, as you would expect. A little bit darker than, let's say, a Heller's. It is a little bit paler though for what I would consider a Märzen. So it's that sort of like nice in between. But yeah, it looks crisp, clean, nice gentle carbonation. And there's about just a lining in this glass anyway of a nice white head. But yeah, you can imagine this in a big mass with like about 4 fingers worth of head, ice cold, fresh from the barrel, sat in, you know, the hustling, bustling surroundings of Munich at the Oktoberfest. You know, you can really get that sense of atmosphere. And if I do another series next year for German beer, I will have Lederhosen, even though it's more of a Bavarian thing. But, you know, let's keep with those ignorant German stereotypes, shall we? I jest, of course. So anyway, I think it's about time I shut up, give this a sniff, and see what we get. So I'm going to give you a drink, Prost, and let's give it a sniff. It's got this lovely caramel sweetness coming through. You definitely picked up that sticky sweet malt character, but at the same time you've got that lovely crisp, musky, like wheaty like malt also. Subtle herbal tones, not too much. There's a really nice earthy, hoppy tone in there as well. Subtle spicy tones. There's almost like a slight like marmalade vibe as well, but it smells so nice. It really, really does. It's simple, it's reined in, and it just like oozes of traditional craftsmanship. What a bullshit way to describe a beer. Anyway, let's give it a taste. Prost. It's just absolutely bang on. Not too sweet, not too heavy, but at the same time, not too light. It's rarely drinkable, but it's full of character. The mixture of earthy, sweet and spicy is absolutely perfect. What ABV is this again? 6% ABV. It's insanely drinkable. And it's so deceptive. The next thing you know, you're standing on a table and you're spilling beer all over a buxom nubile. Got to keep that beer-related sexism in there some. But yeah, it's just one of those beers. You're going to pair it with like pork knuckle. You're going to pair it with sauerbraten. You're going to pair it with Würstchen und Sauerkraut. You know, you're going to pair it with pretzels and cheese and cured hams and that sort of thing. It's going to go perfect with your lunch, perfect with your dinner, perfect with a takeaway, you know, fine dining. It's so versatile in that way. And in fact, I'm going to take this off because it looks very, very homoerotic. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course. Where's this video going? But yeah, it's just a lovely, simple beer. And the spiciness builds up really nicely on the back end. It's that spiciness that's not necessarily heat, but more of like a freshly cracked pepper, do you know what I mean, on the back end. And it mixes with that lovely, earthy, spicy hop tone as well. But the malt build and body is just absolutely perfect. Lovely, subtle caramel flavours in there. It's a little bit sticky in your mouth on your tongue. But I'm so immature. I do apologise. See, this to me is just flawless brewing. It really is. And again, a lot of people will probably say...
It's alright. It's a little bit dull. Do you know what I mean?
It's good. It's really good, I think. It's definitely one of the best Oktoberfest beers. And it's one that I wish I could get this again for like less than €1 a bottle like I used to. It blows my mind that beers like this domestically are available for peanuts. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the price that we pay here in the UK and other territories, I can justify it because it's an absolutely wonderful beer. I've got a real appreciation for subtlety and authenticity. Do you know what I mean? Not every beer has to be a flavour bomb. Not every beer has to be ridiculously robust or complex. It's just every now and then, right? You want a beer that's brewed properly. And this is one of those beers. And it's absolutely wonderful. It's a 10 out of 10 from me, ladies and gentlemen. It's the sort of beer that I would become an alcoholic for. It's the sort of beer that I would have with every meal. It's the sort of beer that I could happily have a pipe in my house that would give me unlimited supply of. And it's because of those slight intricacies, but the overall subtlety and mastery of the craft. Do you know what I mean? You could put that in quotation marks on the bottle itself. This beer is poetry in liquid form. AKA, it's bloody marvellous. 10 out of 10. Lovely stuff. Paulaner, for a big brewery, they know how to brew their beer. Salvatore, one of the best Doppelbocks you'll ever have. The Munich Helles, one of the best Helles beers you'll ever have. They've got a Zwickel now, one of the best Zwickels I've had. Even the lighter Helles beer is so hoppy for what it is, and the Dunkel is beautiful. The Hefeweizen, I'm not the biggest Hefeweizen fan, but that is a wonderful example of the style. Their Oktoberfest is great as well. And yeah, just lovely stuff. It's just lovely stuff. So 10 out of 10. So if you've tried this one, then let me know your thoughts and opinions. And I don't think there's like variations from year to year. I think they've got the recipe nailed down. Although there well could be some sort of differences from year to year. Obviously dependent on the harvest of that year, I suppose. But yeah, if you've tried it, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Are you a fan of these sorts of beers? Give me some recommendations. Doesn't necessarily have to be German. What's some of your favourite German breweries though? Have you ever been to Oktoberfest? Have you ever been to anything like it? Again, doesn't have to be in Germany. And of course, if any of my friends and fellow beer tubers have reviewed this one, then I'll put their links down below. I especially recommend checking out my good friend Joe over at the Beer Patrol. He did a video where he compared the Oktoberfest beer to the Oktoberfestbier. So that's a really interesting video, and some nice little tidbits in there as well. Of course, if you want to hear what I thought about this last year, then I'll put that link down below, as well as my Oktoberfest special playlist. There'll be some German playlists included also. Check out Paulaner, check out Beers of Europe if you want to get your German beer fix. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching me and putting up with another video. This series is going to be heavily edited, I can assure you. And yeah, thank you all for watching. And I shall hopefully see you all later. So, vielen Dank and Prost. Tschüss.